What's good everyone, it's Kajani with another episode of The Crafter's Corner, a video series dedicated to crafting and gathering in Final Fantasy XIV. This episode will be a question and answer where I will be answering some of the recent questions related to crafting and gathering that I get on my channel, see across Reddit, and also on the official forums. This is my first Q&A, so the questions in this video are primarily general questions that I've received on the channel. It's broken up into chapters, so feel free to hop to whatever section that may help you out the most, or you can watch the whole thing. I definitely don't mind that. If you happen to have any questions that aren't covered, please let me know in the comments of the video. I'll do my best to answer them right away, and then maybe I'll even feature them in a future Q&A. Going forward, you can expect a Q&A to be released on the first Monday of a new month, so the next one will be released on June 5th. Please look forward to it. The first round of questions have to do with the Splendorous tools, so let's get started. Do you think the Splendorous tools will be best in slot? Yes, I think by the final stage they will be. The Splendorous tools will most likely get an item level increase along with a stat increase in the next stage of the upgrade process. I think the stat increase will make the Splendorous tools equal or even better than an overmelded indicator tool. Then you factor in the abilities and the potential for them to be even better in the last upgrade stage, and those are the reasons why I think the Splendorous tools will be best in slot by the end of the expansion. Of course, time will tell if I am correct or not. Do you think these Splendorous tools will end up being best in slot for Glamour? This is probably something we'll have to wait and see to find out. The developers have done a great job adding effects to craftable weapons, so I expect something worthwhile for the Splendorous tools. With that said, the Splendorous tools do have some strong competition between the Skysteel tools and the Resplendent tools, so we'll have to see if they end up being best in slot for Glamour, hopefully in the next stage. What's up with the abilities on the Crystalline tools? Are they any good? So let's look at the crafting tools first. The ability is increases to quality in a good condition are 1.75 times higher than a normal condition. The additional increase to quality when a good condition is present is going to come in handy whenever you have to craft an expert recipe. So if you've been struggling with the quality requirements to craft either of the water otter fountains, a crystalline tool might be the difference maker. Moving on to the gathering tool, the ability will increase the chance to trigger collector's intuition by 20% whenever you are gathering collectibles. I think this is a good ability because at some point you will be gathering collectibles, whether it be for your regular turn-ins or farming aether sand. The Crystalline fishing rod has a chance to reduce the GP cost of powerful hookset and precision hookset by 50%. To me, the ability is just okay. Saving GP is cool, even if it is the occasional 25. However, I think a better ability would have been if they added a small chance of giving us a stack of angler's art if we caught a large size fish, but maybe that would be too OP. When I look at all of these abilities, I think they will at least help us with the next step of the Splendorous tool questline. I am sure there's going to be some collectibles to gather, expert recipes to craft, as well as a fish to catch that requires mooching. The current ability on the tools will most certainly help with all of these activities, and I'm really liking that they added abilities in the first place. I have a pentamelded indicator tool. Should I bother on getting a Splendorous one? I mean, at the end of the day, it's really up to you. However, I will give you a few reasons why you should get a Splendorous tool. They will probably be best in slot when it's all said and done, plus make for some really good glamour. Plus, you get to benefit from their respective abilities that help out with crafting expert recipes, gathering collectibles, or saving GP while you're fishing. And let's say that you're at a point where you're deciding between a Splendorous or an indicator tool. Well, consider this. Getting a Splendorous tool is one less tool that you'll have to pentameld, thus saving you millions of gil in the process. So those are some of the reasons off the top of my head. I think the fear of missing out is the reason why I see this question asked a lot. Overall, the tools are a welcome endgame activity for crafting and gathering, but it is optional. So if you're fine with your indicator tool, then keep them. They should be more than enough to craft or gather whatever is coming in patch 6.4 and 6.5. I am constantly capped on scripts. What are the best ways that I can spend my scripts after I've stocked up on all my essentials? You'll either be looking for ways to profit or treating yourself to something nice. Let's start with how to use your extra scripts to make some gil. The simplest options will be selling crafting and gathering materia, or selling whatever crafting materials that you can purchase with your scripts that are used in current endgame recipes. With materia, prices are going to fluctuate depending on where we are in the patch cycle, but materia is a safe bet because it's always going to sell. Even the most prudent players can't anticipate the dreadful, soul-crushing RNG associated with overmelding gear. Then, with every patch, there are crafting materials that are used in the endgame that you can sell for gil. In 6.0, there were the crafting materials used in raid food. 6.1, there was immutable solution, and 6.3, we have grip gel. So materia and endgame crafting materials are my recommendations to make some gil with your extra scripts. Alright, besides making gil, you can also look into the options of getting something nice for yourself from the script exchange. You can use your scripts to purchase furnishings like the Major General plushie, a raincoat barding for your chocobo, and some really underrated orchestrations. Oh, and how could I forget, you can also hook yourself up with some glamour as well. So if you are capped on your scripts, make sure that you have a comfortable amount of materia, high cordials, fishing bait, and then feel free to look for ways to make some gil with your extra scripts or treat yourself to something nice. What should I do with my old Pactmaker gear after I've upgraded to the indicator? Well, if you want to farm materia through spirit bonding, then I recommend holding on to the gathering set. Since it's at a lower item level than the indicator, it will spirit bond much faster. All it takes is a round of gathering at legendary nodes to spirit bond your gear. The crafting gear, not so much. I feel with crafters, it's way more efficient to farm materia with scripts rather than spirit bonding. Bruh, I need a lot of tomes to craft a full indicator set. What are the best ways to farm tomes of astronomy? Your answer is hunt trains. A hunt train is an organized run where a lot of players, I mean a lot, get together to defeat powerful overworld mobs that roam around the game. With an Endwalker hunt train, you can get 240 tomes of astronomy, and with a Shadowbringer hunt train, you can get 120 tomes of astronomy. Most trains take about 15 or so minutes, so it's really an efficient way to get tomes of astronomy. To know when a hunt train is about to happen, you can shout in a major city for an invite to a hunt link shell, or you can ask around for a link to a hunt Discord server. How do you deal with market board shenanigans like undercutting? First, I diversify because it helps me not get too attached to a particular thing that I'm selling. Honestly, I just came to terms that a lot of players either don't care or don't know what they're doing when it comes to the market board. This has really brought me peace because it's often confusing how much players undercut a listing. It's like, in the grand scheme of things, Gil is not paying my bills in real life, so it's just whatever. So I feel the best approach to deal with market board shenanigans is to sell a variety of items and be ready to adjust your prices due to undercutting. When are we getting a level 90 fishing gig? That's a good question. Why are expert recipes for the water otter fountain so ampersand, $, exclamation mark, ing difficult? I think I get what you're trying to say here, and if so, this is a mood and I feel this. The difficulty of these recipes is mainly attributed to the RNG involved with having to rely on job actions like rapid synthesis and the quote-unquote minimum quality requirement. I say quote-unquote because the requirement might as well be 100%. Not sure who they're trying to fool. It also takes a little bit of luck as well, especially when it comes to getting a certain condition when it can be most beneficial. As annoying and frustrating as these expert recipes can be, there's a reason why they're in the game. The recipes for the Water Otter Fountain is basically an endgame activity that rewards players for having the best gear and knowledge of all the crafting actions that are available. I think it's a necessary part of the crafting endgame since most crafting is done via macro. With these expert recipes, you have to manually craft them. Now that I think about it, the Island Sanctuary Water Otter Fountain ended up being a blessing in disguise for endgame crafters. Due to the savage versions of the raids being released a week after the patch, crafters really weren't making as much gil off of gear, food, and potions that they were used to making compared to previous expansions. However, if you managed to craft any of the parts for the fountain or farm the various Glywaether, you made like Scrooge McDuck levels of money as a result. Maybe with the week delay as the new normal, we might see more novelty items like the Water Otter Fountain as a way to make some gil during a raid tier. But yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on expert recipes. Also, thank you for watching my first Q&A. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. That's all I got for this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.